Hello, welcome to the iDarker Official tutorial. This one is chapter 9. In this chapter, I'm going to show you how to draw a character with the kind of exaggeration or modification of the facial feature. It's kind of like a caricature, except um, not based on any real particular person. It could. I mean, you can base it off of like a real person, like somebody you're familiar with or something like that. But mostly I'm gonna be talking about and show you how to exaggerate the facial features so that it fits the style of the game or comic or um, animation that you're working on and things like that. So it's gonna start off doing the outline, constructing the face as usual. It's gonna be a front view, this one, and it's gonna starting like a regular normal face, except I'm gonna have like a really big chin, and there's a chin line, and there's a mouth, and there's a nose right there, and the eye line right there. So you can see that the face look pretty cartoony right now, sort of. It has like a really big chin, like huge over exaggerated chin, and like a really big mouth, things like that. And so you have to choose which part to exaggerate. Like this one I'm doing, he's gonna be kind of like a butcher, or a butcher merchant. So you kind of like food, or a blacksmith sort of thing, blacksmith kind of guy. So it's gonna be big, be a really big long face. Which is this one is gonna be a different style than the first few I show you. So it can't really be in the same sort of story if this guy was designed, because he looked totally different than the rest. It kind of looked weird. Just think of the dude in Hellboy, Ron Perlman. He has that sort of exaggerate feature. So, and when you exaggerate a feature of a person, just think of one or two things to exaggerate. Don't, if you're gonna exaggerate the chin and the lips, then try not to exaggerate the other part, because everything you gotta have one dominant element, and that's gonna be a very sort of successful exaggeration of the face. You can't just exaggerate everything, because otherwise it will look, everything will compete and it won't look as cool as you exaggerate just one or two feature. Like on this one, I'm exaggerating the mouth and the chin, make him look like a blacksmith, and I'm adding some some beard on the side of the jawline, and some sort of like not a goatee, but a little beard underneath his chin, just a little small clumps. And now I'm putting a value mid-tone onto his face and the shoulder, and over the rest of the value, and there you go. And we have some blacksmith costume or something like that, and putting some basic value onto the face. Like as you can see right there, I'm gonna pause. I put the basic value as I show you in the first one, just basic shadow, and now it become the face. And now I'm adding on the lower part of the face, I add another layer, putting hard brush, and then I delete it with a soft brush. So you have a really nice kind of a gradient, sort of all the way down to the chin. And I do the same thing on this part of the thing. So you laying down here first with hard brush using 70% or 50% dark gray or whatever, and then you have this whole thing, and then you delete the first part with the soft brush, and then you got this kind of nice gradient coming down, same as this part here. You can still see the hard edge of the brush, and then use the soft brush to kind of like whatever, if the part that's blend will be kind of rounder than the other edge that's not blend. So I make another copy, I merge everything down, make another normal layers using hard brush, and now I'm gonna go in and trying to put down a feature. So I'm gonna add the eyebrows right there, And then I'm gonna put the hair onto the same value as the eyebrows. There you go. His hair kind of a little cartoony. So like when you're doing this kind of stuff, just think of think Pixar or any animation that has like a exaggerated character and have like a really cool looking face, things like that. And now I'm adding his little tiny beard on the tip of the shin. There you go. And some kind of facial hair that coming off on his jawline. There you go. And some shadow underneath and some neck muscle that running along. And now I'm darkening his upper lips, the corner of the lips. And I'm drawing his eyes. The upper eyelid, usually darker than the lower eyelid. So it's just kind of little things, it's important, but you know, sometimes I do it so many times and it's become naturally that I forgot to explain certain element. Now I'm painting his nose. The tip of the nose usually gonna be kind of red, so it's acceptable to be kind of dark in the beginning, especially on surrounding. And it's easier when you have it kind of darker layout and to pop that out with the highlight. And now I'm doing the side of the nose and drawing the eyes. As you can see, the other part of the body is not totally exaggerated. It's kind of like it might be stylized, but the proportion is not, you know, out of place, except the lips and his big chin. And now I'm going in and refine his eyebrows and his forehead, giving it some volume, sculpting it out. Just like when you paint, think of it, a Nobelu state, think of it as you sculpting a sculpture. So if that helps for some people, kind of like trying to round things out, trying to make edge to certain, when there's change of plane, you put a different value on there and you will see the sort of like a change of plane, like on the side of the face. So there you have the dude with the big chin. And kind of darker, or putting some darker value onto his lower part of the face, like underneath the lower lips. So now we got some kind of basic value layout. We just gotta go in and kind of clean it up. Adding something there on the nose. I'm gonna slim his nose down a little bit and make a copy. I merge everything down and I'm gonna extend his face to make it a little longer. There you go. So you can also do that and you go back and fix it. Okay, I feel like his upper head is kind of short. You can keep it like that too, because it's exaggerated, but I like to elongate it a little bit. So now his head is really huge and really long, got a long face with a big chin. And now you just kind of go in and same thing as you do when you do paint a realistic face. You just have to know where to go to kind of like adding value and stuff like that. And darker value on that part of the ear, lighter value on the bottom part. Drawing some earlobes in there. Outline the ears. Same thing with the other side. And some facial hair down there. Side of the nose. And underneath the nose, because we kind of like looking down from there, so now we can see his nostril, so a little angle up. That was like unintentional, but since it kind of happening that way, so because you can see when the face is angled up, you will see like his nostril, see show upper lip more, and the big separation between the eyebrows and the eyes. So it's kind of like you see the space over here, there's space over there open, rather than, you know, when you see the face on normal, you don't really see the nostril, you see, and the eyes, brows and the eyes are really close together. So in proportionate to, now, and draw his eyes in. It's kind of looking upward maybe. I want to make him look sort of like a really blunt kind of guy, and sort of not too bright. And around the nose bridge, right there. And some shadow, some decoration, maybe some necklace, and some shoulder gear or something like that. So anyways, merge everything down, make a copy, and at this point, okay, I'm gonna go back a little bit. There you go, still gradient. At this point on, we have enough value that we can play around with. Some of the video I show is kind of like we work all the way to almost finish, and then we apply color. You can apply color at any stage that you have enough value to kind of play around with. So, but on this one, I'm going to show you like how to apply value in the mid stage of your value is still not quite there, but of all this value, you can pretty much use this value to develop the character or the facial structure to the finish. So once you have the whole range of value that you can play around with, then you can actually add the color in and just kind of go with it from there. So in the next chapter, which is the last chapter, chapter 10, I'm gonna show you how to establish like a skin tone and, you know, color temperature and things like that from there. And the face is not even complete yet, so it's more like a painting, using pushing and pulling color around and things like that. Alright, see you in the next chapter.